Get strong.
So, hey, everybody, it's Dr. C. I'm back. So, back by popular demand, you've commented on the my running for president video from last week, and you, like I said, you've made some comments, and so now I have to address them here. But before I get into the issues that you responded with, I got to tell you a story because one of the issues that you responded with is very important to me and a lot of you who have taken out student loans. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a story with you. So, Dr. C, as you can tell, is not just my moniker, just not my title for the show. I actually do have a doctorate. Okay, and I'll explain a little bit later and as why that's important to the story that I'm telling you right now. So when I got out of the military, out of the United States Coast Guard, I ended up going back to school, and this is when I was living in St. Louis. And I went to Columbia College, which is a local college. They had a campus in St. Louis, but Columbia College was out of Springfield, Missouri, along with the University of Missouri and various other schools in the area. So I got my undergrad yeah, from Columbia College. Very proud of that fact. Graduated summa cum laude. Then I went to Webster University, also a local school, but Webster University is one of the better schools in the country. It's a really good school, and I had gotten my master's in marketing from Webster University. I also decided because the topic and the curriculum interested me was I went on ahead and got a second master's degree in international relations, also from Webster University. So I completed that education, and of course, you know, I'm loaded to bear and ready for the world, if you will, and decided that I was going to try and get a job in either one of those fields, either marketing or international relations. And of course, I was unable to get a particular job in either one of those fields in St. Louis, Missouri. And the reason why is because, and I'm just going to come right out and tell you this, St. Louis, Missouri is a pretty racist city. The powers that be in St. Louis, in the St. Louis business world, didn't take too kindly to African Americans who had more education than they did. And so they were unwilling, and that's just putting it kindly, were unwilling to provide opportunities for new college or graduates or people who have graduated with a master's degree like I did. So, with that said, I ended up remaining in the blue collar field. I was a welder up there, and of course, I enjoyed welding, but you know, I wanted to go into a different direction. So rather than languishing on was unable to get a job and blaming everybody, I decided to go back to school. And I wanted to go to either get a degree in law, which definitely did interest me at the time, or go ahead and get a doctorate degree. And my first choice was to go down to St. Louis University School of Law and try to get a degree with them because the law has always interested me. The law is not only interesting, it is very important for people of color. And I wanted to get out there and help people of color that had problems or issues with the law, whether it was criminally or civilly. Okay. So I went on down to a orientation out at St. Louis University and attended their orientation. And I'm not going to lie to you, the orientation for St. Louis University School of Law was dynamite, man. It was awesome. I was really, really thinking about going ahead and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get that doggone law degree, man. I was excited. And so, everything was going as planned. They were putting on a really good presentation in the orientation at St. Louis University School of Law. And then the issue of cost came up. Okay. So they had a presenter to come on and said that, of course, going to law school can be pretty expensive, and that's true. Doesn't matter what kind of law school you go to, it can be pretty expensive. And of course, they came out and shared some statistics with all of us, saying that a lot of the law students that had graduated from St. Louis School of Law, St. Louis University School of Law, ended up incurring a student debt of around $100,000 to $200,000. That's just for going to law school. Can you imagine a student who had taken out student loan debt for a bachelor's degree, master's degree, and now a law degree? I mean, that's a lot of student loan debt. And of course, that cost was prohibitive. And so I decided, I says, no, I can't afford to do that. So I said ixnay on the getting a law degree from St. Louis University. So therefore, I decided I was going to go ahead and get a doctoral degree from a school called Argosy University, and that's where I decided to go ahead and go to school to get my doctoral degree in marketing. And of course, I'm not going to lie to you. Getting a degree in a doctoral degree in marketing from Argosy University. By the way, Argosy University was one of the education assets under the Education Management Corporation umbrella. It was a for-profit corporation headquartered out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my hometown, where I grew up. And Argosy University was one of their assets. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was a rigorous program. I did learn a lot. And by the way, when you're getting a doctoral degree, I mean, if you've already gotten a master's in marketing, so you pretty much know marketing inside and out. Basically, what they're doing at any doctoral program is they're teaching you how to write like a PhD, or in this particular case for me, a DBA, Doctorate of Business Administration. And so I learned how to do that, learned how to research, learned how to write as a researcher in marketing, et cetera, et cetera. And it was a rigorous program. And I truly did enjoy the challenge. It was outstanding. I loved it. And so I went on ahead and got my doctoral degree in marketing with a certificate in international business, because it made sense since I had a master's degree in international relations. So all of that was a symbiotic to each other, and so it made sense to pursue the education in those areas. And of course, once I graduated from Argosy University, there was no issue, no problem in me finding work whatsoever. I was able to find work almost immediately. In fact, I was able to find work before I even uh, 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 defended my dissertation. Okay. I was able to find work down here in Atlanta, Georgia, at a school called American Intercontinental University, AIU for short. It was a basically an art school. They taught fashion design, art, graphic art, videography, and game design, which is part of their curriculum that they had down there. And of course, they also had a business program, okay, which is the program that I taught at. And so I taught marketing and international business, and then branched out to teach various other areas of business and finance, undergrad finance, economics, etc. Okay, so I have a lot of experience, and I taught for 20 years with my doctoral degree from Argosy University until Argosy University and Education Management Corporation went out of business. They went out of business just, I would say, about 4 or 5 years ago. By that time, I was already towards the end of my career. Like I said, I taught for 20 years, and I wanted to go ahead and retire and do something else. But a lot of my colleagues who had also had graduated with me from Argosy University, particularly those who were recent graduates right before they went out of business, were unable to find work. In fact, what ended up happening is that with Argosy University and subsequently Education Management Corporation going out of business, it was a black stain on everybody's doctoral degrees, and they couldn't find work. And not to mention the fact that it was a for-profit university that was offering these doctoral degrees, which, by the way, I'm going to say this again because I think it's really important. The program was rigorous. However, traditional higher ed has a tendency to look down upon for-profit schools, of which Argosy University and Education Management Corporation were. Okay, and so a lot of my colleagues could not find work, which rendered their degrees from Argosy University as being worthless. I was one of the lucky ones where I was able to find work and pursue my career in higher education, and then I had a pretty successful one. However, a lot of students who had graduated from Argosy University were not made whole until Joe Biden became president in 2020. Joe Biden not only took it upon himself with a lot of lobbying activity, people from the African American community who had taken out a lot of these student loans say, you need to cancel some of these student loans because a lot of people were getting degrees and they couldn't find work. And these schools, mostly for-profit schools, were not helping their students find work once they graduate. Um, so I fill out an application to get my doctoral degree student loans canceled. A lot of students did that. Some got canceled, some did not. I was still waiting beyond 2024 to hear back from the Department of Education to see if they was going to cancel my student loan debt from Argosy University. And then, of course, Trump becomes president. And of course, you know the rest of the story. He basically said everybody has to pay their student loans and canceled all of those the debt that was being canceled that had been put forward by President Joe Biden in 2020. And Trump basically said everybody's going to have to pay their student loans, and if you do not pay, we are going to garnish your paychecks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know how mean and hateful that man is. And the main reason why I'm telling you this story is because of one of the issues that you came up with. I didn't come up with this issue. You did. I probably should have myself, but it's important to me, right? And that is canceling student loan debt and making higher education free for every American citizen in this country. There are a lot of countries in the developed world where their higher education is free higher education to get yourself a bachelor's, an associate's degree, or a trade school certificate. All of that should be free. Just like healthcare should be a human right, education, higher education to a certain degree, like I said, up to a bachelor's degree, should also be a human right. Human beings become better human beings because they are educated. That is a simple and bona fide fact. Okay? The majority of human beings. And so that's the reason why I wanted to tell you this story. And this is the opening salvo to the other issues that I'm going to make available to you because you asked for it. And so Dr. C running for president is going to deliver. Anyway, that's my story, and we'll see you on the other side where we will present the issues that you thought that was important enough for me to present to everybody else as Dr. C runs for president. But remember, not really. You guys have a great afternoon. See you in a bit.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's Dr. C running for president again. You commented more issues to the platform. So, yes, we're going to give you a little bit more information in terms of more issues that we ought to be, as the American people, as citizens in this country, should be pushing our government officials to look after us, to take issue with the issues that are important to us. And Dr. C, as I have said last week, and it's backed by popular demand, my platform on what we ought to be doing for the American people. Now, uh, I also told you guys last week that I'm running for president, but not really. And of course, that still stands. So please keep that in mind. I am not running for president, but kind of sort of I am, because these issues not only matter to me, but they also matter to you. So here's what you said to me based on my presentation from last week. A lot of you did respond, did watch, and you came up with some more ideas in terms of issues that we ought to be talking about. And this is one of them. And there should be free undergraduate education and free education for associate's degrees, and also free trade school education. Education should not be a debt sentence, and I 100% agree with you. Right before this presentation, I shared with you a heartfelt video story of my journey with higher education, a master's degree and doctoral degrees, and the trials and tribulations, the issues based upon student loan debt, and so I wanted to share that video with you before we got into this presentation, adding more issues to the platform. And yes, 100%. Undergraduate education, if you're getting an associate's degree, or if you're getting a trade school education, all of this should be free for anybody who wants to be educated. Like healthcare, education should be a human right across the board for every human being that lives on this planet. By the way, an educated masses of people is a more forgiving, loving, and kind, empathetic, and sympathetic uh, 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 body of human beings. Okay, it really is true. People who are uneducated, who are ignorant, right, tend to make rash, bad, hateful, mean, disgusting decisions. Because in a lot of cases, they don't know any better. Education, free undergraduate education, associate degree education, and trade school education, all of it should be free. Not only in this country, but it should be free across the globe, in my opinion. But we're talking about running for president here in this country in 2028. And this is one of the issues that you brought up. I didn't have to bring this up. You brought this up. And so we've added it to the platform. Now, not only should the education be free, this is probably a more important issue associated with higher education. All student loan debt should be canceled. All of it, regardless of payment history or not, right? Even if you hadn't been able to pay back any of your student loans, it all should be canceled. Every last bit of it. And for those students who were paying money for their education, paying back their loans, that also should be refunded back to the borrower. Once again, it is important for everybody to understand that higher education should be free. Undergraduate degree free, associate's degree free, trade school education free. If you wanted to get more education beyond an undergraduate degree, right? Like if you wanted to get a master's or a doctoral degree or a law school, then yes, you should pay for that. But it also, that cost should be reduced. There is no way that a law degree from St. Louis University should be a couple $100,000. I'm sorry. I just yes, a law degree is a important skill because we have laws in this country, which by the way are being broken by the President of the United States and his lawless band of cockroaches, right? But it is important, okay? But we shouldn't have to pay an arm and a leg to get it, and we should make it easier for people to get the funds if they wanted to go to law school or to get a master's degree or to get a doctoral degree in whatever school that they choose. It should be reduced in cost. And all student loan debt, whether you paid money to try and pay it off or not, should be canceled, full stop. All right. Here's something else that you guys talked about that I think is very important. Climate change is real. I don't even understand why people are still trying to deny it. Donald Trump and his band of idiots are still trying to deny that climate change is not real. It's real. United States military at the turn of the century in the early 2000s, in the late 90s, came out with a report saying that climate change is real and this is how it's going to affect the world that we live in. And this is based upon a military point of view, but they flat out said climate change is real. We need to do something about it, or else all of these various things are going to happen. In fact, the oil industry came out with their own study on climate change. They buried it because their findings were detrimental to their bottom line, i.e., making money all of us by selling us gasoline, oil, and everything else that's made from oil, right? They buried the information. They buried the lead, if you will. But climate change is real, and we need to start investing in renewable energy and stop polluting our home, planet Earth. Listen, everybody, this is important. You're not going to be able to go travel to another planet. The technology is not there. Don't believe Elon Musk that he could get a rocket together and send people to Mars. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen anytime soon, right? They haven't been to the moon since the late 1960s. I mean, they're planning on going back, but it's going to be very expensive, and the technology is not there. Meaning, planet Earth is our home, and if this planet dies, we die with it. And make no mistake, human beings, their efforts to make life easier for themselves is killing the planet. Climate change is real, and we need to start reinvesting in making the planet more sustainable for every living species on this blue ball. And if we don't start doing something about it now, it is going to be too late. We have to invest back into saving the planet now. And of course, now listen, um, in the last presentation that I gave y'all from last week, it probably sounded like that I was down on capitalism. I'm not. There should be a balance between it. I think what has happened with capitalism is that we've given all of the money, the power, and everything else to big business, not small business, big business, and they have basically bastardized the capitalistic system. I believe that there's still a place of capitalism in our uh, democratic system, small d, right? But in order for capitalism to thrive, it has to revolve around small business and small business investment. Okay? There is something to be said about small businesses. Just go into your neighborhood and you'll see small businesses everywhere. These are our friends, our neighbors. They are family members, right? And they take care of the rest of us. It is a symbiotic relationship between the small business owner and their customers. And good small business owners are good stewards of their neighborhood. And so we need to funnel our investment, our government dollars, our tax dollars, into improving the infrastructure for small business investment, particularly for those small businesses of color. I'm a very small business owner. You guys know Dr. C as a artist and a writer. And yes, I'm a small business owner. But I'm not the only one. There are millions of small business owners in America, in the United States of America, that could use a helping hand. Too often, people of color who want to start a small business are shut out by the banks because of do I really need to say it, because of racism and discrimination in the country. It is a system of exclusion that has wrought its hand in this country, that is visible for everyone to see. We need to have an opportunity small business zones for minorities, for black and brown people, not just for white people and Asian people. Black and brown people should have the opportunity to open up a small business as well. This is very important. And it's not only very important, it builds community in the country. Okay? It builds community. It's that important. And we, the American people, should be demanding this. Now, of course, these are some of the issues that you guys came up with, and I agree with you, and we need to talk about those, which is the reason why I wanted to give you guys this supplemental presentation. But also remember, this is very important. Yes, well, if you come up with more issues, let Dr. C know. Respond uh, to the videos, okay? But also remember, Dr. C is not really running for president. We are just talking about the issues. Dr. C is running for president, but no, not really. Please keep that in mind. Keep responding to these videos. Let us know what you think. If you got more issues that you want to talk about, respond to the videos, and we will, if we agree with you, we will put it into the platform. And also, I don't ask because what's really important here is getting the information out to you. But we still do ask here, from where I sit with Dr. C, that you do subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we can get, the better the chance we can stay on the air and give you all this great information. And of course, this information is brought to you by Christopher Studios, which is the name of the website that Dr. C has, where art and literature is the point. Make sure you subscribe. Go to the website, make a purchase of one of our books or the artwork, and guess what? Black History Month is coming up. In fact, I think February 1st is tomorrow. It's Sunday. That's the beginning of Black History Month, and you guys are going to get a lot of videos from Dr. C on Black history. And by the way, a lot of the books that I write are on Black history. You'll hear a lot about the books that I've created. We'll talk about Black history a lot, and we're going to continue to educate you as best we can to make sure that you are an informed citizen fighting for your freedom and for the country. Again, make sure you subscribe and continue to watch these videos. We look forward to your comments to this one as well. You guys have a great afternoon.
Get strong.